Some of these characters will be controversial. Video essay on him, but then I hated it, so I didn't post it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Connie. I'm going to be making Demon Slayer content, maybe some other animes like Death Note and Attack on Titan, but Demon Slayer is my favourite anime, so that's what my content is mainly going to be focused on. Today's video is my first video on this channel, so I would really appreciate if you could show me some support just by subscribing or liking and leaving a comment, but please keep it respectful. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 10 current favourite characters in Demon Slayer. A quick warning now, this video will contain lots of manga spoilers, so please just come back and watch this once you've read the manga, because I had the manga spoiled for me and it was not nice. So I still cried a lot, by the way, but just come back once you read the manga. Before we get into the video, I just want to clarify, I watch things in dub, and I know I'm going to get hate for that because it's originally supposed to be in sub, I know, but I prefer dub because I don't like reading the subtitles because I can't take in the scene that's going on, because I watch other things in sub but I just couldn't keep up with it, so I prefer dub because it's easier, and I feel like dub is always overlooked because it's not the original language it's supposed to be in. Demon Slayer dub voice acting is insane. It is so good. Let's start in reverse order. Some of these characters will be controversial. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So, in 10th place, my character I've got here is none other than the Serpent Hashira, Obanai Iguro. I think Obanai is a very, very interesting character. His backstory, his relationship with Mitsuri, his personality, there are many things that make him in my top 10. I thoroughly enjoy his breathing style. I think he is very cool. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoy Obanai. I'm going to get a little bit more into it now. Backstory is absolutely horrid, and I will cry when it's animated because it's an awful backstory, because he's being raised in a cult with a demon. I think a lot of false rumours are spread about him, and like, this is the thing with the Demon Slayer community, there are lots of headcanons and stuff like that that are made into fun facts, which they are not fun facts because they are not canon. So, because I saw a video and it was like, Obanai was going to propose to Mitsuri on the day the final battle started. This is my first issue with this. I don't know if he says it, I can't remember. So don't come at me for getting this wrong because I can't remember. Obanai does not want, he wants to die in this final battle. He wants to die in the final battle so in his next life he can go and marry Mitsuri. He does not plan on marrying Mitsuri because he thinks his blood is tainted due to his upbringing, and he doesn't want to push that onto her. So he says in his next lifetime he will marry Mitsuri, but not in this current lifetime that we are in. We in the Demon Slayer universe, whatever, yeah. We'll say that he was like something about a ring. I can't remember what the exact thing was. If I remember, I'll put it as some text somewhere on the screen. Something to do with him and a ring for Mitsuri. They're in Taisho era Japan, and proposing with a ring is a Western tradition, and it was not commonly done back then. So I don't mean to burst your bubble, but I don't think he would have. But that is going on a very big tangent, but I just love Obanai. Wait to see what they're going to do with him and Mitsuri fighting Nakime for that short portion. When his death is animated with Mitsuri, I will sob my eyes out. When basically all of their deaths are animated, I will sob my eyes out. Because I feel connected to each of these characters in different ways. So that is my opinions on Obanai. I think he's a very interesting character, and yeah, I just really like Obanai. I like his voice acting. I think his voice acting's really good. His character design's cool. He's just, I love Kaburo. I just butchered that. I love Kaburamaru. I love in those post-credit scenes where he says something along the lines of stay away from Kanroji, and then Kaburamaru goes like hisses at Tanjiro. I love that so much. So I thoroughly enjoy Obanai as a character, and I feel like he needs more recognition. Number 9 place, we have the Miss Tashira Muichiro Tokito. Obviously, Muichiro was higher in my list because I really enjoyed in the in the Swordsmith Village arc. One thing I did have an issue with is Mitsuri she got barely any screen time in her fight, and it was basically all on Muichiro. I get his was the bigger fight, and his backstory was bigger, but I really wish that we could have seen more of Mitsuri and her love breathing because it's a very cool style. So I love Muichiro Tokito. His Kokushibo fight, I will not be okay when that is animated. He's the youngest, and he encounters one of the oldest demons that he doesn't know he's related to, and he finds out he's related to then and there. And I think the way he dies is absolutely horrible, and it makes me sad when I read the corpse records and I see, and Obanai says about Muichiro when they're saying how they view each other. He's so young, I hope he doesn't die, and he is the second Tashira to die, and he's the second youngest Tashira to die. Because we all know Shinobu is the first that dies, she's 18, so she's the second youngest, and then it's Muichiro, and he's 14 years old. He is my age. I'm 14, by the way. So, but yeah, like, his death was absolutely horrible. That bit when Gyome put his hands like that over Muichiro's eyes, I will not be okay. Check up on me, okay? So his backstory was absolutely horrible as well, and when he's dying, you can see his brother telling him it's not his time, it's time for him to go back, he's too young, and that his brother wants him to live on. But Yuichiro sacrificed himself for Muichiro when he was only 11 years old. Thoroughly enjoy Muichiro. I love how when he gets his memories back, he starts acting like his old self, and that's thanks to Tanjiro. And yeah, I love Muichiro. One thing I don't like is the fans. Like, it's the Muichiro fans and I think it's the Rengoku fans. They are the most overprotective over Muichiro and Rengoku. Like, it's these people that have like the weird, like, they comment the weird things, and it's like, is that my loads of words, and it's like husband Muichiro, and it's like, you sure you really want to be saying that? Digital footprint is a thing, you know. But other than that, I love Muichiro. He's so cute. I love him. And with all of them, it's always going to be their voice acting is so good. But I think is an underrated Hashira, Gyome. Oh my gosh, Gyome does not get nearly the amount of recognition that he deserves. He is so impactful in the Kokushibo fight. Gyome is such an interesting character, and I love how he's like a father role underneath Kagaya, because Kagaya is like the father of all of them. He addresses them as his children, even though Gyome is older than him. Gyome is like a father to Muichiro, as we can see. Like, they fall into makes me sad thinking about it. Like, they fall into the Infinity Castle together and they fight together. And then he does that thing where he puts his hand. I love Gyome. Like, I wish we got to see more of his stone breathing because he's so cool. And like his death scene with all of the children when they come up to him and they say that they were trying to get weapons from outside to try and help him because he's blind. Check up on me. That was the death that hurt me the most. Gyome's, like, I was so upset reading that. Like, those from volume 18 to volume 23, I sobbed every volume. Like, they were so brutal. It's such a brutal arc, both of them, Infinity Castle and Sunrise Countdown. And I think Sunrise Countdown even more, because that's where all of the deaths happen except from 3. So those 3 being Shinobu, Ruchi, and Genya. So yeah, it's a really brutal arc, but I love Gyome. I think he's such a cute, gentle giant. I love him and the cats. Just like, I think he's just so cool. And I love how he rescued Kane and Shinobu, and I think it's really sad that he rescued both of them from a demon attack, and then both of them were killed by the same demon. But I think it's such a full circle moment when Kanao kills Doma and Inosuke. I feel like that's such a full circle moment because of their attachment. One thing Gotoge does really, really incredibly well is the emotional attachments and the connections between the demons and the demon slayers. Like Kanao having both of her siblings being killed by Doma, and then Inosuke having his mum, who he never really got to know, killed by Doma. Then they kill Doma. I think that is so well done. And I think Muichiro and Kokoshibo, and then I think the parallels as well are very good, like Gitaro Daki and Tanjiro and Inosuke. Sorry, this is such a big tangent. I love just talking about Demon Slayer. Kanao, she is 7th on my list. She would have been higher, but I forgot about the person who was in 4, so she got bumped back a few places. So I think Kanao is a very, very well written character, and I'm gonna get into it now. This will take me a long time. You'll see as I get higher and higher up the list, I'll have more and more to talk about, or I won't, and I'll literally just say why I love the character and that's it. Now was hurt by humans, and usually when humans are hurt by humans, you see them, they turn into a demon. On the exception of Daki and Akaza, because Gyutaro made that decision for Daki. Akaza kind of got turned without his permission. He just like got his head punched through by Muzan because he was strong. But I think like she decided to like stay good, like stay true, and she became a demon slayer. And that bit in the manga where she's like, I couldn't cry for Kane, and then she was crying for Shinobu, that bit is really sad. I'm gonna cry so hard when that is animated. Oh my gosh, I love Kanao so much. But I love her relationship with Tanjiro, how Tanjiro inspires her to speak her heart, and then Shinobu lets her in on the plan because she can control her emotions and her feelings easier. And she knows that she's gonna lose her second sister. Like, both of her sisters are gonna be gone, and there's nothing she can really do about it because she doesn't get there in time. But yeah, I love Kanao so much. Like, it's hard to voice what I'm feeling and like why I feel this way about her, but I love her so much. Like, in the fight when she activates her, I can't remember what it's called, but her final form of flower breathing is very incredibly, and I love how her and Tanjiro get married. I think that's lovely because they're both such good people. But I'm gonna move on to number 6. Am I on 6 or am I on? Okay, I'm on to 6 now. 6 here I have as Inosuke. I love Inosuke so much because I think he has the best full character arc overall because of the way he's written. He's up there in the top 3 most well-written characters in the whole show, tied with someone else who will come up in my list as we get higher up. The biggest manga spoiler, so if you've been watching and listening to all the manga spoilers, I don't really know what you're doing, but he goes from wanting to fight Tanjiro so badly when he's first introduced, like even when he wakes up, the first thing he thinks of is fighting Tanjiro, So when Tanjiro is about to kill him, he's about to swipe his face off when he says, I can't do it. That moment is not talked about enough. I know the fights and the deaths are the big focus in Sunrise Countdown and Infinity Castle. Moments like that, they don't get talked about enough. Like, I know I was talking about Gyome's death and stuff, but that moment where he says, I can't do it, that's gonna hit me hard. That's gonna be so rough for me. Like, because I know other people feel the same way, because I was talking to my friend about this, and like, we were both saying this does not get talked enough about. Like, Inosuke's full character arc is so good, and I probably will make a video about his character arc, because I think he is such a well-written character. He's very interesting. Again, his voice acting is great. Bryce Papenbrook is such a great voice actor. Like, you can just, if you've seen the clips of him voicing Eren for the last episode of Attack on Titan, he's literally crying his eyes out. Like, he's such a good voice actor, and I think Inosuke is such a good character. Love Inosuke's fight with Doma. I think it's especially sad because he lost his mothers 3 times, basically, because his first mother he lost to Doma. His second mother was the boar, who would have just died from being in the wild. And his third mother was Shinobu, especially that post-credit scene where it's when Tanjiro is in recovery and then he jumps through the window and like shatters it, and then it's like Shinobu like cleaning him up and scolding him. I love that scene so much. But Inosuke's gone through so much pain, and it's when he has that look in his eyes, he's like shocked to find out about his mom, and it's when Doma's like got his boar mask and he's like twiddling it around. It genuinely, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be so rough. I'm so excited for the next movie to come out, but I'm so scared. I'm if you know what I mean, you know. Yeah, I love Inosuke in Entertainment District arc, like when he jumps into the ceiling and he calls for the muscle mice, and then when he's underground and he's looking at Zenitsu when he's still like trapped in the robe and his eyes are like at, I love him so much. And I like it when it's in Hashira training arc and he says that he can beat Gyome, and then he gets like hit into the ground. And I love that bit when he's like drifting down the river. There's so many bits of Inosuke that I just love. He's such a great character. I love his silly moments. I love his serious moments. And yeah, he's just such a great character. Number 5 place, we have the main character of Demon Slayer. We have Tanjiro. Like, Tanjiro is such a great character. He's such a great main character, and I'm going to talk a lot about Tanjiro because I really do love Tanjiro. He's such a great character. I think one of my favourite things about Tanjiro is him and Nezuko's parallel with Daki and Gyutaro. And he's parallel with so many people. Like, he's parallel with Sanemi and Genya, him and Nezuko. And I think he shows trauma in such a different way to people. Like, he doesn't really cry after his family is all killed. His first thing is to see if he can still save anyone, and that person happens to be Nezuko. So then he's been bottling up his emotions this whole time, and it gets to Mugen Train, and then the death of Rengoku sends him over the edge, and he starts, like, he's crying so much because of the death of Rengoku, because he's been bottling things up, and then he feels like he should have saved Rengoku, but he couldn't because he was injured because he got stabbed. And he carries so much. Like, his sense of smell shapes who he is. Like, that's why he trusts people so quickly. It's why he's such a nice person. And I love how it's like you looks after Tanjiro. And I love in the fight against, again, it's always in the fights, there's always such good moments. In the fight against Akaza, when he saves Giyu, and Giyu just in shock, because Giyu's always been the one saving Tanjiro. Like, up until then, Tanjiro hasn't had really any big moments against Akaza. Then he saves Giyu from having the same fate that Rengoku would have, because he wanted to save Rengoku but he couldn't. He wasn't strong enough, he was too weak. But he's so much stronger then. So then he saves him, and I feel like that's such another full circle moment for Tanjiro, because he's saved someone that he truly cares about. What I'm going to be sobbing my eyes out is when he is a demon, because there's the bit with Nezuko where she's running and she's half demon, half human, and she's running towards where the fight is. And Nezuko's saying, like, why are you the one who's always suffering? Why is it always you? And then Tanjiro, like, has his nails, like, digging into her back, because he can't control it, because he's a demon, obviously. But it's just so sad. Like, he's such a kind-hearted character. We saw in Mugen Train when it showed his soul, the one of the people who was, like, in his soul, they couldn't bring themselves to do it. They couldn't bring themselves to destroy his soul because it was so pure. And then there were the spirits of his family, and I think he's, like, his battle IQ is very admirable, because he thought of the slashing his neck. I don't know how it was act everything out. Like, I don't need to, but I just do. When he slashed his neck so he could escape from the dream. And I think another moment that I truly love, I love the whole Entertainment District arc. That is my second favourite arc, third, after it goes Sunrise Countdown, Infinity Castle, Entertainment District. Out of the currently animated arcs, because I know Infinity Castle is not finished yet, Entertainment District's still my favourite, but I love the bit where Tanjiro is about to be killed by Darky in the first bit of the fight, and then Nezuko swoops in and saves him, and then he does the same thing that Giyu did and puts his sword in between her teeth so she doesn't kill those people. I love Demon Slayer so much. Like, it's such a good show. I love it so much. Character in fourth place is Shinobu. I love Shinobu so much. Like, Shinobu, when I first watched Demon Slayer, I did not feel as much of a connection to Shinobu. But when I read through the manga and I rewatched it again, everything, like, clicked for me, because Shinobu and Lady Tamayo carry the entire fight, the entire final fight in the final battle against Muzan. They carry it. If they hadn't made that drug that aged Muzan back and slowly killed Muzan, the Demon Slayers would have lost. Like, they were struggling to hold up against him until sunrise. So if they didn't weaken him, they would have had no chance of winning against him. And just to go on a tangent, that just shows how strong Yorichi is, to drive him into a corner, essentially. And the only way he could survive was by spreading himself out as much as he possibly could. Sorry, I'm going back to Shinobu, but I think her rage suppressed is her anger just as a whole, like, she's so angry from her sister's death because she couldn't have saved her sister, and her sister wanted her to leave the Demon Slayer Corps, and then she meets the same fate as her sister, but it's arguably way, way, way worse because she gets absorbed by him. But she's so angry, and she keeps it all suppressed. Like, she's always smiling, and I hate that fun fact where it's literally it's just not true, is it? That she told everyone but Giyu her plan to get absorbed by Doma. The only person she explicitly told was Kanao. I'm sick of hearing otherwise. Yome began to catch on to it in one of the light novels, I think, if I can remember correctly. But she only told Kanao because Kanao was like one of the... It was like when Kanao was her Suguko, and it was after Kanao had like learned to talk about her feelings more. It really goes from there. But I think Shinobu is such a great character. She's so like motherly to Inosuke. Her death didn't make me cry when it was animated, but when I read it, it made me cry. When I read a lot of these things, they made me cry, like, but when I watched them, they didn't. I'll try and think of more examples for now, but yeah, Shinobu is in my 4th place spot. It is into my top 3, and my top 3 are all Hashira, which all of the Hashira I think are very well written, but this person in number 3, I think he is tied with Inosuke for the most well written character, and that is Sanemi. This Sanemi's full character arc, like, making me sit up for this, because Sanemi's full character arc is not talked about enough, because he experiences trauma in such a different way to Tanjiro. Tanjiro, after he goes through that traumatic event of his family being killed, he's still kind, he's still nice to people, he's still trying to save people. Sanemi's still saving people, but he becomes jaded, he becomes mean. He doesn't want to talk to Genya, who's the only family he's got left. And he's doing that out of love. He tries to blind him to protect him. He tries to do all of these things to protect Genya, to get Genya to leave so Genya can go and live a happy life. But Genya doesn't. Genya dies, and that hurts Sanemi a lot. Like, Genya's death scene was brutal as well, because he says that he loves his big brother so much, but then Sanemi, like, he loved him all along because Tanjiro could smell it on him, but he would never admit it. And yeah, I think Sanemi is so well written. I love his breathing style. I love him in the light novel and Signs of the Wind. I would definitely recommend reading Signs of the Wind. It's a very, very good light novel. There's quite a few chapters. I can only remember what 3 of them were about. I can't really remember. Oh no, I can remember. So there's 4 chapters, I think. The first one is all about Sanemi and Masachika, which is his best friend. And I think that is a very well written light novel, and it was just very good, because I feel like he doesn't think he's worthy of being a Hashira in a different way to Giyu, because, well, it's kind of a similar way to Giyu, because they both had people die, and instead of, like, they think that they should have been, like, Masachika was killed in a very brutal way, and Sanemi thought that he should have been the Hashira, but he died, and then Giyu thinks that he shouldn't have been a Hashira because he technically didn't pass final selection because Sabito died, and it was not, like, Giyu didn't contribute enough. But Sanemi is so well written. I love him post-war, how he can't write, but he sends gifts and stuff. And I do want to make a video about my favourite ships, but the ship community is very toxic. So my favourite tip... I can't actually speak today. My favourite ship, it's got to be Obanai Mitsuri, but I think Sanemi and Giyu are quite high up there. I really like the Sanemi Giyu ship. Not as much as, like, everyone else does, but I like it. So yeah, that is my opinions on Sanemi. I'll probably do a different video on Sanemi because he's such an interesting character. Like, genuinely, he's so interesting, and him in the Kokushibo fight was very, like, I cannot wait for the Kokushibo fight to get animated, but I can wait at the same time because I know what's going to entail, and I know I'm going to be sobbing my eyes out in the cinema. But yeah, in my number 2 spot I have Giyu, because I think Giyu is well written. I don't think he's as well written as on the likes of Sanemi and Inosuke, but I think just Giyu is a very, very interesting character. All of them are such interesting characters. I keep saying that. Like, I need to think of other words. He was like slightly relatable in a way because he experiences like the imposter syndrome because he doesn't think he's worthy, and he like can't voice that to people like Sanemi or any of them except from Tanjiro, really. So that's why he's disliked by them. And I think in the final battle, if he was killed by a demon, I don't think you would have ever heard from me again, because I love Gyu so much. Like, since the first episode, I just thought he was so cool. Like, when he was, I can't remember if, yeah, I don't know. But he was just so cool. His entrance, how he saw something in Tanjiro that made him go to Urokodaki and not just kill Nezuko like he should have. And how he did like the silent actions, like taking the seppuku vow for Tanjiro, and like him and Tanjiro would have had to do it if Nezuko did kill a human. And when he starts crying because he failed to protect someone else, he failed to protect Tanjiro, and Tanjiro turned into a demon, that hit me so hard. And it's just, he's very, very well written. I love that whole scene where there's all of the Hashira fighting Muzan all at the same time, like, and Mitsuri just yanks off Muzan's arm, like, with her raw strength. Mitsuri is an honorable mention. Like, I love her, but there were just characters which I see fit better in my list. I do love Mitsuri though, she's very cool. A lot more about you, but I have a lot to talk about my character at number 1, which, if you're friends with me, you probably guessed by now. My number 1 character is Tengen Uzui. I love Tengen so much. What to talk about, but all of the voice acting. My top 2 favourite voice actors, which I can't even order, are Ray Chase, who voices Tengen, and Kaiji Tang, who voices Sanemi, because I love most of the characters that they've voice acted. Like, Ray Chase does Tengen, but he also does Choso, and he does Sukuna, and then Sanemi does Gojo, and he does I don't know why I said Sanemi. Kaiji Tang does Sanemi, he does Jinshi, I love the Apothecary Diaries, and he also does Gojo as well. That's kind of brain fart at the moment. I love how, even though Tengen was a shinobi, he always had to stand out. He always had to be like the most flamboyant. He's actually the definition of flamboyant. Not only is he very, very pleasing to look at, but he is so cool. Like, I love the Entertainment District arc. Like, after I'd finished it, the Entertainment District arc was like one of the only arcs I got through without having any spoilers. After that, I had spoilers basically throughout all of it. I know there's not much spoilers for the rest of it because no one dies up until the Infinity Castle starts, but I still got spoiled, which was a bit. So I just really love Tengen. I made a whole video essay on him, but then I hated it, so I didn't post it. But yeah, I love Tengen. I love him and his wives. I thoroughly enjoy him and his wives, but I think that even though he thinks that he's going to hell because of his actions, and he thinks that like irredeemable, so he's a demon slayer now, I think that he's just a very good character. I need to talk more on this when I actually have some brain capacity left. In the court records, when Tengen and Rengoku talk about each other, that they care about each other a lot, that they respect each other. So then when Rengoku died, Tengen felt as if he had to step forward and fill in for Kyojuro. It feels weird saying Kyojuro. I dislike that a lot, when he's like step in and fill Rengoku's spot. And then Rengoku was like gonna look after Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke. Then he's like, please look after them for me. And then Tengen just like shouts at them and berates them. I love that so much. And I love how the kind of at the end of the final battle when Tanjiro wakes up, Tengen comes and visits them, and that whole scene. This is going on another tangent. When Sanemi smiles at Nezuko, full circle moment. He tried to get Nezuko killed and then he smiles at her. Oh my gosh, this is getting too much for me. I'm gonna need to talk on this more. But I love Tengen. He's one of my favourite characters overall. Like, I love Tengen so much. So yeah, I love Tengen. And that's all you really need to know, because I can't think of anything and I'm losing brain cells from being sat down and talking for like 3 hours. 3 hours because I got ready and recorded a video. Whilst I got ready, did not like what I was talking about. I recorded a character essay on Tengen and I did not like that either. So then I did this video, and I think this is the video I'm going to post because I like it the most so far. So yeah, this is my official rankings, 10 to 1 of my favourite characters. I might do like, also my whole channel is incredibly inspired by Hannah Malay. Hannah Malay, she is one of my biggest inspirations. I love all of her Demon Slayer content so much. I was geeking out when she did one of those Q&As on her Instagram to ask about ice skating, and she replied to my thing. So I love Hannah Malay, so I don't want to seem like I'm copying any of her content, but definitely check out Hannah Malay because I love all of her videos so much. So yeah, this is my first video. I'm scared to post this. Please don't bully me if you go to my school. So yeah, please subscribe, follow my Instagram, my TikTok, leave a comment on video suggestions because I'm lost. And yeah, bye guys.